And I suppose that's the most important question. Folks are asking, what can they do in their private capacities to help? What do you need? What do we do?
That's a lot. Go ahead, Ms. Blackman. Go ahead. You go ahead and stop.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you just, the bus again? Is that
what you have a bigger staff than I do right now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll let you, I'll lend them out to you. So what we can do is what we're doing right here, what you all are doing right here at ATAC, bringing awareness to the problem, bringing solutions, and having people come together to talk to their legislators, to talk on forums like this, to host town halls that Representative Rodriguez and I can go to and talk to them about what we can do as a state to fix this. So there's a myriad of things that we can do. You can come down to the Capitol again if you're in that vicinity, because it is open again, and folks can come to the committee hearings. I have an open door policy to where if you call my office and you want to meet me, regardless of what district you live in, you're going to be in my office and we'll be talking about some of those issues and coming up with solutions. However, I will put this out there for the naysayers. Okay, if there's an issue, let's work it. But if you don't have a solution, I don't want to hear it. So that's just the military in me. So. Don't just come with a complaint, come with a solution.
Yes, Drill Sergeant.
Well, we would tell that to folks in our committee, hey,
folks, it's this issue is so important. It's about being productive. And so, yeah, and what does productive mean in terms of how we reform the Department of Corrections and improve the situation here? It starts with, as Mr. Blackman said, awareness, identify the problem, bring awareness to it, and then figure out what your strength is. Is your strength meeting with people face to face? Then take a look at the members of each of the committees, the relevant committees in the State House. You're going to talk about appropriations. You're going to talk about criminal justice reform, judiciary. In the Senate, you're going to talk about judiciary. You're going to talk about their appropriations. So you need to be very purposeful in who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. Go to them with a specific problem. Go to them with a solution, right? And let them know that you're listening to what they're doing and you're watching what they're doing, and that you are just a representative of a larger group of Arizona citizens that are standing behind you, that are looking for results and that want to see things happen. Because remember, your power as an Arizona citizen is your vote, right? Your vote and your voice. So figure those two things out. How can you link your voice to the problem, to the solution, and then let the folks know who are making the decisions that the vote is coming or it's not coming, right? It's either going to go to that person for the solution or it's going to go to their opponent for the solution. So, actions have consequences. So let's make sure that everybody understands how this works, figure out your strength, and then work towards that.
And what I've seen a lot, and I've seen it in the chat, and we saw it in the questions that came before this, and of course, going through the legislative cycle for a number of years, we've all experienced this, and which is that you get attached to legislation, and especially when you or your loved ones are going to be directly impacted by legislation, when it means whether or not your father is going to come home earlier than was expected, or your mother or your brother or sister, that has a deep emotional attachment to this legislation. And so when you go through that year after year in support of this legislation, it can callous you, and it can create apathy, and it can create discontent with the process. But that's exactly when we need to double down our efforts. We cannot become apathetic. We have to lean in on this. And by the very fact that anybody that's watching this is engaged with ATAC or any of the organizations out there that support going down to the Capitol and working on legislation, especially in the criminal justice or in this government accountability space, You know, there's a number of us out here, and this is what we do, and we want to organize you, and we want to help you understand that process, and we want to help you get your voice down to the Capitol and get to these lawmakers' ears. And so by being here, you're already engaged, but we have to also, at the same time, we have to stay positive, we have to stay engaged on our objective and move forward on that. And we can't let past losses dictate our future presence on these issues, and we have to engage. But there are a myriad of ways to engage with lawmakers and get your voice down there. And if you need that, if you don't know, you can reach out to us or there's a myriad of organizations here in Arizona that will help you with that process. And you can just walk right down to the Capitol and walk in the door. And that's the thing. We are representative democracy, meaning that these representatives represent us. They are us. This is a government of the people, for the people, by the people. And so we need to be the people and go down there and animate this.
Well, if I could just caveat to that, I tell a lot of folks in my district, I think some folks have the roles reversed. And that role, my little nephew just came in here. That role is that we work for the folks that put us in office and in those who don't put us in office. I know that Representative Rodriguez and I got slapped around a lot when we ran this criminal justice stuff, and we're saying, hey, it's the right thing to do. But what we did is we just went back up to our offices, shook it off, and and just said, hey, let's get back at it. And that's what I would tell folks. I mean, this is a marathon, particularly here in Arizona. It's not a sprint, and we have to be engaging. When we know we have a governor's race that is coming up, those are questions that you can ask some of these candidates. What are your views on criminal justice reform? What are you going to do about the DOC? We've got a candidate right here who's running for Attorney General, and I know he has a passion for fixing this. And those are questions that we can ask these folks that are running for offices, particularly governor and attorney general. What is your solution to fix this? And we already have one person right here who's been in the trenches working this, and that's how we need to move forward. So
don't get discouraged, folks. They're counting on us swearing down. They're absolutely counting on us swearing down, because that's what's always happened. Is that the status quo just stands there and just waits until you get tired of banging up against it. But this is not that issue. This is the time where the opportunity is there. We can make sure that the results come through eventually, but it is going to take a concerted effort and a sustained effort. So don't get discouraged, right? You can't win them all. You certainly are laying a foundation for future success. So thank you all for having me. This has been a great conversation. I appreciate it. Thank you to the other members of the panel as well. And Julie, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate y'all.